Is this thing on? All right. Okay. Yeah. Yo, what's poppin', y'all? It's Justin here. To be honest, I kind of just wanted to make these videos like a once a week thing, but it's been pretty fun allocating a bit of my time to making these. I'm not really stressed about putting something like this out since it's just me ranting. So until I feel like it's a chore, I'm just going to keep putting up videos. If anything, maybe think of this like a 12 days of Christmas type beat stint where it's just 12 days of videos, except I started on the 20th, so really maybe only five videos. We'll see. All right, with that out of the way, I was thinking about what topic to ramble on about, and I was between accessibility and databases. In this case, I decided to go with the formers, so here we are. Now, what exactly am I pertaining about when I say the term accessibility? Of course, I'm speaking in terms of application accessibility since the series is basically about concepts within software engineering. Accessibility as a term usually pertains to actual user disability, but a generalistic overview of accessibility stems the definition a lot farther than one would expect. Within an application, for example, let's use Twitter. What exactly is the takeaway a user should receive when they're initially going onto the app? So I'll bring up Twitter on the screen right now. Cool. All right, here we go. Yeah, so this is what it looks like. Basic top nav bar, an infinite scrollable feed, a bottom tab nav, and a pop-up sidebar. Obviously, with the iPhone functionality, this would be a swipe right and this would show up, but it also has the functionality where if you click or press the profile icon, then a sidebar will appear with more functionality. Very minimalistic and adheres to modern design trends. Let's look at another example. Let's say Pinterest. So I'll pull up Pinterest right now. I actually have all this stuff. I'm a little prepared. I'm a tad bit prepared. So all in one, top nav bar, an infinite scrollable feed, a pop-up sidebar, or there was a pop-up sidebar. Oh, it's over here. I don't know why it's like that. Here, let me go back on responsive and go iPhone X. Or maybe if I do this and I inspect again. Oh, that's so weird. Responsive. All right, so it's weird. Why? I don't know why it's doing this. I didn't want to get out my mobile emulator because that's a little bit too much work. I kind of wanted to do it like this. Here we go. And a pop-up sidebar from the profile icon. Well, not necessarily the profile icon, but it's a little drop down. So it's a drop down pop-up sidebar, essentially. If I were to click this, it would bring me back to the home feed. Cool. All right. Let's look at one more example. Let's do Instagram. And I have an image of it instead because I realized that this doesn't cut it out, and this is not necessarily the native mobile app interface for Pinterest. So I decided to Google search Instagram's mobile UI. Albeit I don't really use Instagram, so I don't know if this is actually the most updated version, but it serves its purpose essentially. So yeah, let's take a look at Instagram. So we have our top nav, we have a story section, an infinite scrollable feed, and a bottom tab nav. though our sample size of examples have only been social media apps are, in my opinion, a very good indicator of design trends, especially since social media apps garner the most outright traction in today's application heavy world. What do all these apps have in common for the most part? If we take a quick skim at all of them, right? If we take a quick skim at all of them, see icons, see more icons. What do you know? More icons. Huh. There's not necessarily any words. Icons represent functionality. Of course, I'm really only speaking through the home feed front, right? But what looks like a home icon happens to be the homepage redirect. What looks like a magnifying glass happens to be the search bar. Modern design trends have evolved to the point where less is more. The less you can fit on a page, the more you're actually putting on it. That's not to say there's no design trends where more is more, but I just want to speak mainly from a basic design perspective that is more catered towards this idea of a content focused experience, albeit that content focus comes in many forms. The takeaway here is that accessibility can be defined through how well the design of a set application can present the visual information. This definition adheres to the roundabout definition of accessibility in terms of user disability. Why is that? Well, if I were to use visual impairment as an example, like color blindness or low vision, sight problems, etc., making my application design more visible for that impairment, for people with that impairment, is imperative. And how would I do that? Make components bigger, choose a friendlier component or background color, or just having good structural semantics for a page in general, like the social media apps we showed before. How components on a page look and function are key paradigms UI, UX, and front end developers need to take into account when building out these applications. Does it make a difference for a button to be placed to the left or to the right? Very simplistic decisions hold a lot of merit, a lot of value when push comes to shove. And you're a part of a team trying to push out a product. Hence why there's a lot of research that takes in data for these metrics. 72% of people ignore a chatbot on a web application. So maybe we don't include a chatbot in our application. That was a made up statistic, but the point is some companies pay loads of money in order to account for these statistics, these metrics, in order to better construct a UI and UX flow within their product, within their application, within the software. Front end has evolved incredibly so from the very beginnings of HTML, PHP, web-based designs. Backend, for the most part, has always been the forefront of programming, but in this new modern era of technology where how something looks holds so much power in whether a consumer chooses to use that product, that application, that software, front end has really stepped over the bounds and, in my opinion, has probably become the forefront of programming as of now. This is considering the amount of power front end based libraries, frameworks, and languages have now, where you could basically code a majority of an application or a software through the front end. So, yeah, mouth became a little dry, kind of stuttered a little bit towards the end, but that's going to wrap up this session. Next video will probably be on databases, so stay tuned for that. I think I'm getting a little bit better on recording these videos. This was actually my first take, so I'm incredibly happy I managed to get through all the way to the end on one take. I remembered to turn off my notifications too, so that's a huge W for me. But hope y'all found this one enjoyable, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.